During the 1920s, actor Robert Williams was building a solid reputation and career on Broadway, appearing in both comedies and dramas and gradually moving up to starring roles. Williams made his Broadway debut in 1922 in a supporting role in Abby's Irish Rose at the Fulton Theater and continued to perform on stage through 1930 in plays including Milgram's Progress, That French Lady, Jimmy's Women, The Trial of Mary Dugan with future film stars Anne Harding and Barton McLean, Scarlet Pages, David Ogden Stewart's comedy Rebound, and Love, Honor, and Betray, with Williams billed over Clark Gable, Glenda Farrell, and George Brent. Williams also appeared in small roles in a few films made in New York during this time. As Hollywood was making the transition from silent films to talkies, the studios were looking to Broadway for stories and for actors who could perform on film. Many of the plays Williams appeared in were later made into films, and many of the Broadway performers came to Hollywood to appear in the film versions. Despite Williams' success on stage, however, and despite the eagerness of the film studios to find suitable actors who could be successful in the new talking pictures, Williams had no interest in coming to Hollywood. In fact, he was strongly opposed to the idea. Eventually, he was convinced to give movies a try, and he gave film fans a brief and tantalizing taste of the career that might have been. Williams was born September 12, 1894, in Morgantown, North Carolina, and was raised on a farm. He ran away from home at the age of 11 and joined a traveling tent show, and later worked on showboats in Mississippi and in theater groups in the Midwest. He eventually reached New York City, where he appeared in several off-Broadway plays before serving in the U.S. Army during World War I. He joined shortly before the end of the war and served less than a year. Following his discharge from the Army, Williams returned to the stage in New York and married singer Marion Harris in 1921. Harris was known as one of the first white women to become popular singing jazz and blues songs. The couple had a daughter, Mary Ellen Williams, who became a popular singer in the 1940s and early 1950s, performing as Marion Harris Jr. Williams and Harris divorced in 1922. Williams had another year-long marriage from 1924 to 1925 to actress Alice Lake, who started her career appearing in comedy shorts for Mack Sennett and appeared in dozens of shorts with Fatty Arbuckle and Buster Keaton. Lake also co-starred with Rudolph Valentino in Uncharted Seas in 1921. Her success and popularity declined after the introduction of talkies, and she made her final film appearance in 1935. After Rebound closed on Broadway in 1930, the play came to Los Angeles, to the Belasco Theater on South Hill Street. Williams was convinced to come to Los Angeles to co-star in the play, with Ina Claire replacing Hope Williams, no relation to Robert, in the lead role. Claire, a comedic actress with more than 20 years of stage experience, who was married to actor John Gilbert at the time, was the headliner and the main attraction in the play. Although the well-known and popular Claire received rave reviews for her performance, Williams also made an impression on audiences and critics. The LA Times Review noted, "The applause rang warmly after his final scene. He offers both comic zest and sincerity." By the time Rebound closed in Los Angeles in July 1931, Williams was on his third marriage to actress Nina Penn, and the Hollywood studios were eager to make a film version of Rebound starring Claire and Williams. Still, Williams wasn't interested in a movie career. He was planning to return to Broadway to star in Oh Promise Me and then Ernest Hemingway's A Farewell to Arms. When talkies came in, I had a couple of offers in New York, Williams said in a September 1931 interview with the Los Angeles Times. We had talked it over from every angle, and we decided we greatly preferred the good old stage. We had decided that money would not tempt us. So we really had banished pictures from our mind when I was here with Rebound. We just enjoyed California and went right back to New York, proud of our strength of mind. Then, while I was rehearsing for Oh Promise Me, our friend Harry Clark, the writer, was commending our stand, when Pathé came through on Long Distance. It seemed like a jeering note. I tried to stand firm, to repeat that dizzying salaries and long, sure contracts held no lure, but oh well. 2 weeks after the play opened, I was released, and we were on our way back here for the screen version of Rebound. Back on Broadway, Williams was replaced in A Farewell to Arms by actor Glenn Anders. The film version of Rebound, which also starred Claire, Myrna Loy, Robert Ames, and Hedda Hopper, was released in August 1931. Williams remained in Hollywood and next appeared in The Common Law with Constance Bennett, Joel McCrea, and Lou Cody, and Devotion with Anne Harding and Leslie Howard. Both films were released in 1931. So far, Williams had only appeared in supporting roles in 3 Hollywood films. Next, Williams signed for his first major film role with Loretta Young in a film originally titled Gallagher, to be directed by Frank Capra for Columbia Pictures. In the film, Williams as Stu Smith and Young play reporters working together at a newspaper. Young, as the title character, is secretly in love with Williams, but Williams sees her as just one of the boys. Though only 18, Young was already a well-known and popular film veteran. Williams marries a wealthy heiress named Anne Schuyler, played by 20-year-old Jean Harlow, but quickly realizes that he is hopelessly out of place and unhappy in her high society world, especially when his fellow reporters tease him and call him Mr. Anne Schuyler and the Cinderella Man. Smith divorces Harlow, returns to Gallagher, and realizes that he's in love with her too, and they live happily ever after. By the time the film was screened for preview audiences and the focus turned to Williams' unhappiness with the economic inequality in his marriage, the title of the film was changed to The Gilded Cage. 6 months before the film's release, Warner Brothers released The Public Enemy, starring James Cagney and Harlow, which followed Harlow's appearance in Howard Hughes' Hell's Angels. To capitalize on Harlow's growing publicity, when the film was released a week after the previews, Columbia Pictures changed the title again from The Gilded Cage to Platinum Blonde, a term reportedly created by Hughes to promote his Hell's Angels star. Although the film firmly established Harlow's stardom, playing a woman of wealth, refinement, culture, and sophistication was not Harlow's strong suit. Even director Frank Capra agreed that she wasn't right for the role. Despite her third billing and limited screen time in the film, but because of her growing popularity, Harlow was featured prominently in newspaper ads. During the filming of Platinum Blonde, the Hollywood gossip columns were full of reports that Williams and Young were also becoming an off-screen couple, even though Williams was still married to Nina Penn at the time, although she was back in New York. The film opened to positive reviews, and despite sharing the screen with Harlow and Young, Williams was singled out by critics for his performance. It looks like Williams, who has done exceedingly well in minor roles with RKO Pathé, has an indisputable chance of stepping ahead, according to the review in Variety. Always displaying a fine screen presence and manner, Williams quickly ingratiates himself. If his succeeding parts are made to fit his personality and demeanor, it will be eggs in his coffee for this comer. That's something to watch. The New York Times described Williams as a first-class exponent of light comedy. In his autobiography, Capra called Williams a new comedy sensation. Although movies had just learned to talk, Williams' performance in Platinum Blonde was closer to a modern comedy performance than the silent screen slapstick of just a few years before. As Stu Smith, Williams was stereotypical fast-talking reporter, tossing off one-liners, a street-smart tough guy with a sassy attitude. But Williams also found the heart and soul of Stu Smith, delivering an honest, natural, and sophisticated performance that grabbed the attention of the audience, even when he was delivering snappy comebacks and sharing the screen with Harlow or Young. In a 2008 interview with Turner Classic Movies, 77 years after the release of Platinum Blonde, Oscar-winning actor Christopher Plummer was asked about the impact of the method style of acting. an immersive style of realism made popular by Marlon Brando and Montgomery Clift. Robert Williams was one of the most realistic comedians the screen had, Plummer said. He made Cary Grant look like he was overacting. To watch Robert Williams act was like seeing a comic using the method, long before the method became famous with Marlon and Monty. Platinum Blonde was released on Saturday, October 31st, 1931, but Williams was unable to attend the official premiere. 3 days earlier, Williams was rehearsing for his next film, Lady with a Past, co-starring with Constance Bennett, when he collapsed on the set with a ruptured appendix. He was taken to Hollywood Hospital, now Hollywood Presbyterian Medical Center, on North Vermont Avenue, where he underwent emergency surgery. Following the surgery, Williams was diagnosed with peritonitis. After a second surgery, Williams developed pneumonia. On Tuesday, November 3rd, 1931, 3 days after the premiere of Platinum Blonde, Williams died, the same day as the review in Variety was published. He was 37 years old. Williams had been in Los Angeles for only 9 months and appeared in 4 films. He was replaced in Lady with a Past by Ben Lyon. After Williams' death, the flag over RKO Pathé Studios in Culver City was lowered to half staff in his honor. The industry loses a real actor whose hard work was just beginning to be recognized, said Constance Bennett. Funeral services were held at the Pierce Brothers Funeral Chapel, 720 West Washington Boulevard in Los Angeles. Williams was buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale. Platinum Blonde was a launching pad for several major stars. Although Harlow was already a popular actress, Platinum Blonde made her a star, and she signed a 7-year contract with MGM the following year. With MGM, Harlow starred in Red-Headed Woman, Red Dust, Dinner at 8, Bombshell, China Seas, Wife vs. Secretary, Libel Lady, and Saratoga, before her untimely death in 1937 at the age of 26. Platinum Blonde was the second collaboration of director Frank Capra and writer Robert Riskin. The first was The Miracle Woman, starring Barbara Stanwyck, which was released earlier in 1931. Capra and Riskin worked together on 8 films, including American Madness in 1932, Lady for a Day in 1933, It Happened One Night in 1934, Mr. Deeds Goes to Town in 1936, and You Can't Take It With You in 1938. In his career, Riskin was nominated for a total of 5 Oscars, winning once. All of his nominations were for films directed by Capra. Capra was nominated for 6 Oscars as Best Director and won 3 times. His 3 wins were all on films written by Riskin. Loretta Young's career lasted longer than all of them. She was twice nominated for a Best Actress Academy Award, winning in 1948 for The Farmer's Daughter, and she was nominated 8 times for a Primetime Emmy Award for The Loretta Young Show, winning 3 times in 1955, 1957, and 1959. She continued working in films and on television until shortly before her death in 2000 at the age of 87.